Hey, 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 it's here. 2025 has arrived. It's here, my friend. Can you feel it? The energy, the possibilities, the opportunities, the new adventures, the new connections you're going to make. 2025 is here, my friend, and it's ready for you. The question is, are you ready to? Today, I'm going to help you get ready and stay ready because this is your year. This is your year, my friend. Welcome to Time to Win podcast, where healing and growth collide with purpose, and you get to heal, grow, and prosper. I'm your host, RJ Jackson. Join me as we take a graceful 90-degree turn from stress and struggling to purpose and prosperity. As a professional impact speaker and mindset coach, I'm here to show you the way out of secretly suffering in silence and help you get back on the path of prosperity. So if you're ready, let's make that shift. It's time to win, my friend. Yes, yes. Welcome back, my friend. And if this is your first time joining us here, going to definitely give you what you came looking for. Now, just before we jump into it, I want to give you some quick updates of what we have planned for you this year. See, this year is going to be big for us here at Time to Win podcast. We are nearing our 100th episode, and we could not have done it without you. So we're going to celebrate. And to celebrate, we're planning a special giveaway and, oh yes, a few surprises along the way. So make sure you lock us in because you don't want to miss out. And plus, we're switching things up just a little bit. We're going to be bringing you shorter yet more impactful 17-minute podcast episodes that fit perfectly into your busy schedule. Now, that's not all. There's a lot of new additions that we have planned to better serve you because the Time to Win podcast dream team, well, we believe you deserve to live a fulfilled life on purpose and prosper. So we have a lot in store for you. With that in mind, have you subscribed? Our research shows that you're listening, but you haven't subscribed. So we want to ask you to start the year off with a commitment with us by subscribing to the podcast. And while you're at it, don't be afraid to share with a friend or two. All right, that does it with our updates. Now, let's get into it. Quick question for you. What's your vibe for 2025? Did you pick a word for the year? Do you have big plans? Are you living in expectation more than ever this year? Maybe you're really just trying to still figure it out, like find your way of where you're going this year. And that's okay too. The truth of the matter is, either way, I am so glad you're here. Your showing up tells me you are ready for something exciting and something life changing. Guess what? You're in the right place. I'm excited that we get to kick this year off together. Let's kick it off with energy, purpose. Oh, and we can't forget a little bit of fun while we're at it. So if you're ready, let's dive into something we all think about as the calendar flips: a fresh start, a new beginning, a new me, a new you, a new year. Now, while we are used to hearing new year, new you, new me all the time, if we're honest, we often keep doing the same old thing. What does it really take to create a new you in the new year? Should you make resolutions? Should you set goals? Or should you focus on intentions? Well, not everybody agrees on which one is the best approach. So today, I'm breaking it down so that you can decide what works best for you to feel alive in 2025. You know how I like to remind you how important it is to say, I'm alive, I'm alert, I'm enthusiastic. I'm alive, I'm alert, I'm enthusiastic. I'm alive, I'm alert, I'm enthusiastic. Oh, yeah. So let's look at it. Let's look at resolutions, goals, and intentions so that by the time we're done today, you'll have a better understanding of how they're similar, how they're different, and which one really fits into the scheme of things for your vibe for 2025. Let's start with resolutions. You see, a resolution is a big promise to yourself. It's saying something like, I'm going to eat healthier, or I'll stop procrastinating this year. Now, while they sound great, they can be pretty vague and hard to stick to. Why? Because there's no plan. There's no direction. You don't really know where you're going and what you need in order to complete the trip. When we say things like, I want to be more patient this year, while it sounds nice, it's without the details. So, how do you measure the progress? You can't. And so, what ends up happening? People start the year with resolutions and they say what they're going to do, but there's no how, there's no measurement to it, no time frame, nothing. And so, by the time March comes along, the resolution has been forgotten. Is that something you want to do? Because if that works for you, go ahead. Do what you do, boo. Do what you do. On the other hand, there are goals. Goals are where things get a little bit more detailed. They are clear targets that you work towards. You set goals like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds by June, or I'm going to save $1,000 by the end of this year. Now, goals, I'm all for them. Goals, in my opinion, are great. They are great because they're measurable, but they can feel a little rigid if you're not careful. And because they can feel rigid, it leaves room for slip ups, which can lead to discouragement. And if you don't have an accountability partner, if you're hard on yourself, if you don't give yourself grace, if you don't forgive yourself, you'll get discouraged when you don't reach your goals. And then you'll end up quitting. And then you'll have to hear me say quitters never win and winners never quit. So here's a goal that I've set for myself in the past. I'm going to read 12 books this year. I like the goal because it's helping me with my personal and professional growth. It's expanding my mindset. It's clear. It's achievable. It's measurable. It feels good. It will help me grow. But there's one part that's kind of missing with that goal. There's no real connection to how I want to feel and how I want to grow, even though it will help me grow. It doesn't connect with me intentionally. And so, again, that's how it begins to feel rigid. Okay, no problem. There's a solution to that as well. So, if you're setting goals and they're working for you, I'm going to say keep doing what you're doing. Because if it's working, don't stop. But if it's not working, then stop killing yourself, right? Like Roberta Flack would say, killing yourself softly. Instead, take away some of the rigidness and add some feeling, some emotion, some connection to your goal. And you can do this with what we call intentions. So let's talk about intentions. And for some of you, this may be kind of new, but I'm going to make it really simple for you. Intentions are all about the why and the how behind your actions. So instead of focusing solely on the results, like losing the weight, saving the money, reading the 12 books, intentions align with your values and how you want to show up in life. Let me give you an example. So, an example of an intention would be I want to live with more gratitude and balance this year in 2025. With intentions, there's flexibility. You're focusing on the progress, the journey, the feeling you want to experience, which makes the journey just as important as the outcome. So, 3 choices, all with the same purpose: to do better and be better. And this year in 2025, I want you to focus on being 1% better every day, just 1% better today than you were yesterday. And you know what that does? It rules out comparing yourself to other people. The only person you're going to compare yourself to in 2025 is the person in the mirror. That's it. Just shoot. How are we going to become 1% better? We're going to decide what's going to work best for us. A resolution, which is a promise to yourself, but like I said, it's vague and it's hard to stick to because it lacks direction. Or are you going to focus on goals, which is more rigid, clearer, has more details, is measurable, but it can lead to discouragement if in fact you don't reach it? Or are you going to implement intentions, which really talks about the journey itself, not the destination? And it's more about the why and the how behind your actions. You're not solely focusing on the results, but you're enjoying the journey. So, which one are you thinking would work for you? Now, for me, I'm going to do something different. As I shared with you, I typically focus on goals. I write my goals out because a goal that's not written is not a goal, it's just a dream. And you know what happens when we dream at night? We wake up, we forget the dream. And the same thing is true for our goals. We don't write them down, so we end up forgetting them. End of the year comes, and we're like, oh, what did I say I was going to do this year? We have no clue. So we go through life every day unintentional, no purpose. You get the picture, right? So here's what I decided to do this year: not just have goals, but have intentional goals. You see, I'm shifting. I'm shifting from just having goals to being more intentional. As a matter of fact, my word, I asked you earlier, did you have a word for the year? I personally have a word for the year. My word for the year is drive. DRIVE. And it's also an acronym for what I want my year to look like. So, drive. The D is for discipline because I believe the cure comes through discipline. When we have discipline in our life, we accomplish those things that are purposely set before us to accomplish. The R stands for restoration because I want God to restore what the enemy thought he had taken from me. And then the I, intentional. You see, there it is, intentional. I'm going to be intentional this year. Intentional in my relationships, intentional in my business, intentional with my time, intentional with my talent, intentional. I'm going to be focusing deeper on my purpose. I'm not going to be distracted by what it looks like. I'm going to remember there is a purpose for everything that I'm doing. And then the V is vision. Because without a vision, what happens? We perish, right? The people perish. So I want to always keep the vision in front of me. As I look at my vision, I'm really looking at the promise of God. That's the way I see it. Like, this is the vision that God has given me, and this is his promise that he has provided for the vision. You know, the saying, where God guides, he provides. When he gives you a vision, he makes provision for the vision. So I want to keep my eyes focused on the prize. And the prize is the vision. And finally, E, expectation. I'm expecting great things this year. I'm expecting to God to do exceedingly abundantly above more than I think or can even imagine. I'm expecting God to show up. I'm expecting God to prove himself as he said that he would. I'm living in expectation this year. I'm not going by what it looks like, what it sounds like, what you think about it, what they think about it, what they said. I'm expecting for God to do what he said. And he said in his word, he would supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory. And he said that he would make me the lender, not the borrower. And he said, for he knows the plans that he has for me, plans for a future and plans for a hope. And he said that he would be my God and I would be his daughter, the daughter of the day. He said it. I'm the apple of his eye. I'm expecting him to do what he said. How about you? What's your word for 2025? That's my word, drive. Okay, so how did we get here to sharing the word? because I shared with you I'm shifting this year. And my word is drive. And this year, I'm driving and taking a new route this year. I'm not just setting goals, I'm setting intentional goals. Goals that connect with how I feel and what I value. Not just about what I want to achieve, but how I will grow, how I will show up for myself and for others. Here's an example of my intentional goal. I want to build more meaningful connections with my family this year. Therefore, we will meet monthly for a family fun, intentional investing gathering where we will invest in one another and talk about investing in our family legacy. You see, this isn't just about time spent. It's about being present. It's about empathy. It's about listening. It's about investing and creating moments that matter. Intentional goals. That's what I'm working on. That's my shift. That's my drive for 2025 so that I can feel alive, alert, and enthusiastic, and I can better serve you. So now it's your turn. What feels right for you this year? Are you leaning more towards resolution, goals, or intentions? Or maybe you want to mix all three of them. Because the truth is, it's not about choosing the right way. It's about choosing what works for you and staying true to your purpose. Well, my friend, we have come to the end. But before we go, I want to let you know, here's to you, to your new beginnings, to the courage that you have to step into the year filled with clarity, adaptability, and resiliency. This is your time to win, my friend. Thank you so much for starting the new year with us here on Time to Win podcast. Don't forget to check out our previous episodes for more inspiration that drives transformation and lock us in for next week because we are just getting started. Let's make 2025 a year of purpose, growth, and winning together. Remember, it's your time to win. Until next time, stay intentional, stay inspired, and yes, stay connected. Thank you for listening to Time to Win. Because you've enjoyed today's session, you can also express your gratitude by rating, reviewing, and returning next week with a friend. Oh, by the way, be sure to screenshot today's episode and share it in your Instagram and Facebook story or on your favorite social media platform. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week in the locker room of life here on Time to Win. And remember, the best time to win is now.